Forgot to record. So we're going to talk about another aspect of percents, and this is probably the most common use of percents. Finding percents increase or percent decrease, especially, right? Because if you're shopping, you want to know how much that I almost said sweater. Y'all know what sweater is. That sweater is after the sale price. This is what we're talking about. Percent increases or decreases, right? So we're increasing, which means the number is going what? Up. Decreasing, which means the number is going down. Unless you're talking about a fractional increase or a decimal increase, which actually makes it go down. So be careful with what kind of number you start with so that you remember. So make sure your calculations are correct. Don't put in a decimal in the wrong spot, or things might go up or down. Okay. Are we ready? Okay. So let's look. So in this lesson, we're going to be increasing and decreasing numbers by different percentages. So that's our task. We're going to be increasing and decreasing numbers by different percentages. And then we're going to be looking at lots of situations, lots of applied problems. And carefully read these and work on these, because this is exactly the kind of thing you're going to see in the assessment. Okay? I guarantee you're going to see percent increasing and decreasing problems. Okay? All right. Now, I love the way they've done this, because usually this is taught using a very convoluted way of doing it, where you find that you have your original number, then you find a percent of a number, then you add those two together to get the total number. But you don't have to, okay? Because if you think of something, if you want the full price of something, you already know that percentage. What's the full whole price before anything is done to it? How much, what percentage? 100%, right? So anytime you have the full price of something, you're paying 100% of the price. Do you agree? Mm-hmm. And so if we increase that by a percent, all I have to do is add the percent increase to that 100 to get my new percent. Okay? Super easy. All right? And you're going to see it, and if you're wondering what I'm talking about, you're going to see it, so don't panic, okay? So, our steps for any time you have a percent increase. All you need to do is take 100% plus the percent of increase. And notice, I'm not talking about amounts of money here or anything. And that will give you your new percent. So that's step one. Sorry. Okay. So let's say I was increasing the price by 35%. Well, I start off with 100%, and I'm increasing it by 35%. So that gives me how much? 135%. Could it be any easier than that? Okay? Second, multiply that percent, and we talked about that. Can you multiply with a percent? Nope, you have to change it to a decimal, but your calculator will do that for you as long as you hit that percent button. Okay? Multiply that percent times the amount. Whatever it is you're talking about. $30, $5,600, whatever. Okay? Couldn't be any easier. What do you think you're going to do with decrease? You're not going to add the new percent. You're simply going to subtract it. Right? So let's go ahead and put the decrease on here, the steps for decrease as well. Because it's the same thing, except right, you'll take 100% minus the percent of decrease. Okay? And that gives you your new percent. So if you change the percent, the mathematics is a lot easier than if you take the percent of the amounts and try to work with the amounts. It's much easier to find 85% of something using your calculator than it is to find 85% of something, or to find 15% of something and then taking 15% of the number and subtracting it. It's just faster and easier to find a new percent instead. And then, of course, multiply that new percent, that percent, times the amount. So your job is to know, am I increasing it or decreasing it, so that I know whether or not I need to add or subtract. That's the big deal here. Okay? Now, if you've done percent increase or decrease the other way before, you're going to find out how much smoother it is to do it this way. If you haven't, if this is the way you've been doing it, well then, count your lucky stars. You've just got another lesson that you can fly through, right? Okay? So let's look at some examples. And I don't know how to make it go back. Nope, that didn't do it. I'm sorry. Sorry. I gotta start asking y'all. I just think y'all are the same.
Decrease.
So decrease. Multiply the new percent times the amount. Multiply the new percent times the account. You look at your neighbors, maybe they have it. It's exactly the same. The increase and decrease are exactly the same, except you're going to subtract to get the new percent instead of add to get the new percent. Okay? And the amounts are what they're going to be given to you, right? We don't know the amounts, right? Okay? So whatever amount you have. Sorry. I'm a bad person. Okay, here we go. All right. So we're going to look at an example that they've done. So if we increase the number by 12%, we need to include the original value. And the original value of anything is always what percent? 100, no matter what, right? Doesn't matter if it's 10 cents or $10 million. The original amount is always 100% of the cost. And then if we're increasing that by a percent, we just add that new percent to the 100. So 100 plus 12% would give us 112%. Okay? And to increase the number by 12%, so we're going to end up multiplying by 1.12. Now, do you have to change it to 1.12? Yeah. No, because everybody got your calculator? Pull them out for a second. Get them out. Look at them. All right. Remember, you're supposed to have that ready to go. Now, and you don't need to add 112 in the calculator, but if you do it. I don't care. Put 112 and find your percent button. I know you know how to find them since we looked all over for them yesterday. 112%. All right. Look around. It'll be there somewhere. Sometimes it's a second button or something. Okay, so let's look at some more of these. Let's try an example. Okay, here's an example. I'm going to give you some time to do it. Give you a little time to check with your neighbor to make sure y'all agree on your answer. And then I'm going to ask you to do it. I'm going to call on y'all. Remember? Yeah? You know you love that part. It's your favorite part. So, go. You've got 30 seconds from now to complete this. 30 seconds is plenty. Increase 26 by 40%. Yes, you do. You start off with how much percent?
26.
And it's going up by how much? No, 26 isn't the percent. Nope, it's not money, it's just a number.
You add the percentage that's on the board.
That's the percent divided by 100.
I mean, times it by
Times,
100.
how much, what?
Yeah, I didn't do my equals.
You get 140 divided by 8.
Okay.
Right.
Compare your answer with your neighbors just to make sure they're on the right track.
I followed all these steps. So multiply 140.
No, yeah, you gotta change it to a decimal first. So 140 divided by 100.
Yeah,
Divided by 100. Okay, now that times 26 is, and there you go, it's 6.3. And it's not money, so you don't need to make it two decimal places, guys. All right, how we do? Let's see how we did. Ready? Seraphine. Okay, so we're talking about increase or decrease, Seraphine? Increasing, right? Okay, so we're doing increase. Make sure to read the directions carefully. Lucia, okay, so if I'm increasing by a percent, I need to have some percent to start with. And what's the starting percent always? 100%, right? Everybody agree? Good. Hannah. Not here, okay, so I didn't put in the some people yet. Eliza. Eliza, so I've got my 100% starting point, right? And I want to increase that by what? How much percent? By 40%. Yeah? Okay. So Maya? I'm getting... Huh? Oh, it's not there either? Jay, how's that? Jaden, I know you're here. Jaden, I know you know how to do this. So, if it's 100% and an additional 40%, that makes how much percent? 140%. There you go. Okay, perfect. Absolutely. Don't make it harder than it is. You're going to be one of those, are you? All right, we'll get you there, though. Come on, it's fine. Sophia. Sophia. All right, Sophia. Sorry, I don't really know yet. Sophia. So if I have 140%, I'm going to then multiply that times my amount. But can I multiply with a percent, Sophia? No. I need to change that percent to a... There you go. Okay. Cassie. Cassie. To change this percent, to change any percent to a decimal, I simply divide it by 100. Okay? So I would put 140 in my calculator, divide it by 100 to get the decimal, or you can do that in your head if you're happy with it, right? You don't have to do that in your calculator if you don't want to, if you want to be sure. Risha. There you are. All right. And then when I do that, I end up with 1.4. And I'm going to take that 1.4 times what? 26 in this case, because that's the number they gave me. Excellent. Amanda? Amanda? All right, Amanda. Then what do you get when you take that 1.4 times the 26? Pardon? 36.4. Do I need to make that $36.40?
No.
Absolutely not, because it didn't say $26 here, right? So there are no units when you're working with just plain numbers. Okay? But if there were numbers, would I need to put that units in there?
Yeah.
Yes. And round sensibly to the right thing. Okay? All right. So that was our first time being called on to answer questions. How did we feel about it?
It was great.
Well, it's not bad, right? I'm not going to throw you to the wolves here. I am there for you the whole time. Okay? Plus, not only do you have some time to work together, you get to talk to each other, but to ask to make sure you agree with each other, I guess, is going to be me. So that's fine. Good job. We can compare answers.
Yeah.
So, all right, and then, so you're going to know, did you get a right answer or not? And remember, the golden rule here is...
You stop with that.
Well, just don't worry about it. We'll get you there if you don't know, right? And if you're completely and totally, absolutely uncomfortable with making with your answer, then steal someone else's answer, right? Just as long as you answer the question I'm asking, I'm fine with it. Okay? Okay. Yeah, we can do more. No, we're doing more. You're gonna love it. You may go straight to your homework because this example. Nope. Okay, so then they're describing what we did, which is exactly what I just described. Let's do another example. Here you go, guys. Ready?
Okay.
Increase 142 by 100%. You have 30 seconds.
I can't even write that.
Yeah, you can. All right, you'll get 45 seconds then.
Wait, what?
Yeah, 45 seconds.
No.
How did I get
What the heck?
Sorry. Wait.
Yeah.
So don't let you.
Yeah, I feel like that's a dumb question.
Okay.
Good insight. No, it's not a dumb question. It's an excellent question. It's a question that will throw some students on a test.
They're like a colored square.
Is it supposed to be
Yes.
Okay, guys, do we have an answer?
Yes.
Check with your neighbors to make sure you agree.
Yeah.
Right? What'd you get?
Oh, I
It's okay, yes. I got that.
All right. You ready, guys? Let's see. Page. That's you. Look at that. See, I was right at you. I didn't even notice. Page. Then, page. We're talking about an example of percent increase, right? Okay, good. And so anytime we're talking about percent increase, we have a starting amount, which is what percent? 100%. Everybody agree? Okay. Kenzie.
Hi.
Kenzie? All right. And in this case, I'm increasing that 100% by what?
What do you mean? Like, how do you increase them? What you mean?
I'm increasing the starting point was 100%,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And I'm increasing that by what percent?
100%.
Another 100%, which is going to give me,
Double.
well,
So,
200%. Well, 200%, right? It's okay. 200%. Y'all aren't used to me yet. It's fine. Ella! No Ella O'Connor?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Ella, you just gonna stay quiet and tell me I go away. It's not gonna happen. All right, Ella. So now I'm gonna take that 200% and multiply it. But Ella, can I multiply with a percent? No. I must first change that percent into a decimal. Good. Okay. And I do that, Naomi.
Yes.
I do that by simply dividing the percent by
1, 2,
1.
1.
How do you change a percent to a decimal? You divide it by
100.
100. There you go. Right? Just divide it by 100. So what happens when I take 200% divided by 100? I get
100, 200.
just
2.
2, right?
Yeah.
200 divided by 100. Okay. It's just 2.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all right. You guys. Mia. No. Yes. Yes. Okay, we're here. Good. All right. So if I take 2 times my number, 2 times 142 gives me 284. Do we agree?
Yes.
Excellent. Now, I like this question, and test writers like this question because do you have to write all that stuff to do
No.
this?
We can just
If
do
you're
it.
increasing something by 100%, that's the same as increasing it by itself, isn't it?
Yes.
So in other words, double. Okay? So you might be given this question and explain what's happening here, right? That would be a really good one on a test.
If it's like, so like 75% or like an easy, like all by 50%, can you just half that and then times that by? Or like,
You can. It's a method. But
just do it.
I mean, you know, and you can take shortcuts as long as you know how to do it always, right? As long as you know the one path that works always, then you can take the shortcuts when you see them. Okay? Yes.
Especially with test, and you just say if you just wrote the answer, but then you explain why you did right how you were working. Would you would that be good, or do you need?
I'd be good with that. I'd be good with that because it shows a lot of insight.
Okay. So
Right?
if we just
Why would you go through more work than you have to if you understand why you don't have to?
So you can do it, but you just have to explain.
You have to explain what you did. Right, exactly. So, guys, that was a great question. Listen, she was asking if she knew that this was just going to double it, so she just put down the answer of, what was it, 284, but then explained why she knew it was going to double it. Would that still give her credit? I think that's an excellent thing. That would provide a lot of insight. And the more and you provide insight, that's the difference between achieve, merit, and excellence, right? Insight is what excellence is looking for. So if you can do something smarter and faster, guys, faster and easier, and then explain, as long as you can explain why and what you did, so that we don't think you just punched it into the calculator, then that's great. That's amazing. That's wonderful. We're going to be very happy with that. Now, okay, so there we talk. It shows the working, same as doubling it. Okay, then it goes to your homework, which I'm not so interested in. Let's look at a few decreasing ones. Decreasing just means that instead of adding the new percent, I'm going to subtract it. So there's no difference. Okay? There's no difference except for that one operation. So what we're going to do is look at an example. So here you go. Hold on a minute. We're going to do this together. This one, we always do the first one together. I'm never going to... Exactly the same. Exactly. Everything is the same except you're now subtracting. So we're starting off with an amount of, and what percent is that always going to be? 100%. But this time we're not increasing. We are what? Decreasing. Which means not add but subtract. What percent are we subtracting from that 100? 59%. Which gives us 41%, right? Okay. Now, I'm going to take that percent times my amount, which is times 80. But can I multiply with a percent? Nope. I need to change it to a decimal. Two options here. If you know it's 0.4, just write it out. Or put 41% in your calculator and divide by 100. You can always do it, divide by 100 if you want to. But a percent just moves the decimal. Remember we talked about that when we were talking about changing these before.
What? Oh.
Right?
What's the 80 there for? Oh, you times.
That's from my original problem. That's where the 80 came from, my original problem, right? That's what I'm multiplying by. So all I need to do now is take 0.41 times 80, which gives me anybody? I'm sorry, 32.8. And was it money, so it needs to be rounded to two decimal places?
It's centimeters.
It's centimeters, so it does need some units. Okay? Do not forget the units, or you will it will be counted wrong.
But how do you convert from the 41%? You times
divide it by 100.
Right?
Divide by 100, or just move the decimal two places to the left, whichever way you do it. Okay? Yeah. If you always want to make, you can always divide by 100 and get it if you don't want to do the decimals, because that's the problem. People forget which way to move the decimal. So, okay.
Increase its left.
Nope. It's always from percent. If you're going from percent to a decimal, it's always left. Going to a percent is getting bigger, so it's always to the right.
Oh, yes.
Increase, decrease doesn't have anything to do with it. Okay, you ready for your question?
Yeah.
I hope they give you one. Oh, they're just explaining what we did. We did that. This is actually out of your homework, so go ahead and do it real quickly, though. We'll do it. What number would you multiply 160 by to decrease it by 33%? So all they want is the decimal part. So you're still going through the same process. So you're going to decrease it, which means add or subtract? Subtract. Subtract 33% from what?
160.
No, from 100%. Right? Decrease means subtract it. So you're always going to have your 100%.
So then it's just
So 100% minus 33% is going to give you what? 67%. Do you see 67% as one of your options? No, you don't. But if you divide it by 100, you see 0.67 is one of your options, right? Okay?
Wait, keep that up.
Okay.
Oh, so you do the same thing. You see, we just
It's the same thing. They're just not taking you through the whole question. So does the 160 have anything to do with this question?
No.
Nope. So you have to know the process, because sometimes they'll give you more information than you need.
What number would you multiply 165? So you just take the number that you're times it.
The 100%, yeah. So they're not actually asking you for what the new number would be. They want to know what would your multiplier be, and that's the decimal.
Would those kind of questions be a thing? No.
Could be. If they're in your homework, they could be on the exam. They don't make this stuff up and just give you stuff. Yeah. Okay. So decrease means automatically you should be subtracting from what?
100%.
100%. Always keep that in mind. If your increase or decrease percentages, then it has to be from a percent, right? And it's always 100%. Okay? Looks okay? Can I push the button yet? I'm always going to ask from now on because I'm scared of y'all. All right. So here we go. What number would you multiply 130 by to decrease it by 93%?
No.
So it's a decrease. So you take what? What percent?
93% from 100.
100% minus 93% gives you 7%. Change that to divided by 100 gives you.
0.07.
And do you see that up there? There you go.
Wow.
Okay? So you're only doing half of it. You're only doing a third of it. And then, so they don't even want you to multiply it times the 130. They just want you to find the percent that you would use, the decimal you would use. Okay? Ah!
Oh my god. You were recording that whole time.
I am recording the whole time. I just pushed the button and turned it off before I got permission to. I know I'm not going to get in trouble. No? Okay. All right.
Oh, okay.
I don't like being yelled at. All right.
Wait, I can't wait to just YouTube.
Are we all good? Okay. Let's see. If they give us some applications with this. There we go. Here we go. So now let's apply what we've just learned. Okay? No, yeah, you'll love it. You'll love it. So let's increase and decrease numbers by percentages to solve problems across different situations. That's their really wordy, nasty way of saying, let's do some word problems, some applications. Okay? All right. Now again, we're just increasing and decreasing, but with numbers by percentages. So it's just going to be either add to the percent or subtract from the percent and then multiply that decimal you get. Okay? So don't panic. A farmer has 210 sheep in a flock. After lambing, his herd has increased by 40%. How many sheep are now in the herd? Yeah? So, if he starts off with a flock, what percent? So this is a percent increase or decrease? Increase. So we're going to start with what percentage? 100%. And since it's an increase, we're going to be adding. And what percent are we increasing? 40%, which gets us a new percentage of 140%.
Why is this increase amount? 202.
All right, everybody agree? Then I'm going to take that times the amount, okay? But I can't multiply with 140%, so I change it into a decimal by dividing it by what? 100, which gives me 1.4 times, how many sheep did he start with? And 1.4 times 210 gives me 294 potatoes. There you go. Don't forget your units. Feel a little better, a little worse, don't care. Okay. How's it feel? Yeah? Can I push my button yet? No. Got definitely a no out of that one. Now are we ready?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I did example 1.
Now it's out.
Now it's your turn. Maybe. We'll see what's going on. Oh, well, that's just explaining what we did, but we did that. Okay. A dairy cow produces an average of 4,400 liters of milk each year. One cow was measured for a year and produced 14.2% less milk than the average. How much milk did the cow produce? She's producing more milk or less milk? Go. Okay. Each one usually produces 4,400. She's producing less. So is that an increase or decrease? And how much? The original amount is always what? Did I write 1,000% anywhere in here? No way. Okay? You're like, it's a good place to be though, isn't it? Yeah. It's a little dull, but
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's a lot of milk.
well, it's for a whole year, right? It's not like every day. It's a whole year. Okay. Coffees at a cafe normally cost 450%, which means that is how much percent of the value? 100% of the value, right? But on public holidays, they have a surcharge of 17% on top of the normal price. So is that an increase or a decrease? Increase. And so find the total cost of a holiday. So do we increase or decrease it? Increase it by 17%. Oh, I'm doing your homework. I'm not doing that. Okay, so you just select increase. Yeah, we'll do it though. Go ahead. Sure, go ahead. So that's 100% plus what? Okay. Go ahead and figure it out. I'll give you a second. Sorry, my brain just wasn't registering for a second.
Is that how much goes on top, or do you?
117 divided by 1. No, 117 divided by 100. Yeah.
Yeah, and that.
Yeah. And is that 1.17?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Times
times
$4.50. Yeah. Go ahead and work it all the way out and find out how much that cup of coffee is going to cost. Make sure you compare your answers.
But do I? Oh, I buy round it.
Well, 5. Remember though, I want it rounded to the nearest penny, not 10 cents. We're not. Well, I don't know. Yeah, we better round it to the nearest. Let's round it to the nearest 10 cents. I don't know. That's going to be an issue for us here, isn't it? Well, it's New Zealand, yeah.
Wait, what's a penny?
I've written down both.
Okay. I've got to find out for us because it's going to make a significant difference, right? But if you pay with your debit card, you're going to pay exact. But if you pay with cash, you're going to pay the increased amount, right? They round.
So we write unless it says you're paying with cash in the exam.
Yeah. They'd have to tell us, huh? So let's just always assume we're paying the exact amount with it, like we're paying with our debit card or something. Because how many of you ever pay with anything with cash? How many? Yeah, most New Zealanders never use cash anyway. So, do you? Never use cash. because it looks funny and I don't know which one's which. And so, so it's just like debit card. I know the computer's going to do it. Yeah, PayWave. PayWave is amazing. I love it. We've got Apple Pay in the States. Got this. Yeah, Apple Pay. Same difference.
What's the time?
The time? There we go. 2:30. We have 4 minutes left? Okay. All right. What do we get? How much did the coffee cost then?
$5.30.
$5.30 if you're paying cash, or $5,265 or $5.26, right? Because $5,265 is not real with me, but $5.27. $5.27. Right. Or $5.30 is fine, right? One of the other. Right, but with money you don't round. You have to round it. Right, $5.27. Remember, 2 decimal places with money. Always 2 decimal places with money. So we did it both ways. Rounded up to the nearest penny, and then rounded it to the nearest dime. 10 cents. 10 cents. Y'all call 10 cents dimes? No, yeah, they're just 10-cent pieces. Okay. All right. 1 cent. Sorry. Okay. What's a penny? I'm being all American on y'all.